Hi there folks, this is Bill Ricardi, author of Living Cheaply in the UK. This is my second video blog, and this one will be about putting up shelves. Before we get to that, for those of you who want to see the results of the first video blog, which was me shaving my head, this is it. It's a even 3 mil all around, and of course the beard, I just took the attachment right off and I used the plain razor and just kept the stubble. And so that's it. Very simple. You know, the result is also very simple, but that's kind of what I like, so there you go. Got our work clothes on today, you know, just an old shirt and some old pants, and we're going to go to work here. The object today is hanging up shelves. Now, as far as where you get the shelves, some people, you know, will buy them pre-made, and you can get them at your major hardware retailers. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or expensive. Make sure you get enough brackets to go with that sort of shelf if it doesn't come in a package. Generally, it's cheaper to get the shelf and the brackets separately than the shelf and the brackets in the same package. Don't ask me why. You just take the shelf that you bought or that you reclaimed. This was actually reclaimed from one of those upright CD stands or upright book stands that have, you know, this on 4 or 5 different levels, held up with a bunch of upright planks. Well, as you know, the upright planks go wobbly after a while. So what you do, instead of just throwing the whole thing out, which most people do, take those upright planks off, you know, unscrew them, throw those away because they're probably rickety and warped, but keep these. You know, these shelves are perfectly fine. If you have any that aren't, you know, just throw those individual shelves away, but you'll probably be able to get, you know, 2 to 3 good shelves like this out of a typical upright CD rack or book rack. These brackets were bought at the hardware store. They are 200 by 150 mils, or 7.9 inches by 5.9 inches. I attached them to the bottom of this shelf using self-tapping screws. I cannot stress this enough. Self-tapping screws are the easiest way to go. Those are the ones that have a sharp bit at the end, you know, that you can push into the surface that you're about to screw into, or, you know, very gently tack it in, you know, with a hammer. But, you know, don't go crazy because these will bend if you do that. But, you know, just force that sharp bit into the wall and then use a normal screwdriver. And then the threading of the screw catches and you just push it in, and you know, as you're screwing it in. Self-tapping screws, they're a miracle as far as this stuff is concerned, and that's what we'll be using today. I'm going to try it at about this level. Right about there. So I'm going to hold the shelf in the middle, make some little marks. Just enough so I can see them. See? And then I have to readjust. I just look for the marks, put them right in. Shift that up just a wee bit. And there's right now. And I can kind of shift my hand over so I have it even again, and I'll do the marks here. So that's my candidate. That's where I'm thinking of putting all of my screws here. Just there, 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 and on this side as well. 2, 3. So there we are. Now that I kind of have an eye for it, I'm going to grab a level and I'm going to measure that out. This is a fairly standard level. It'll show you, you know, levels in 2 different directions. If you want to put it up that way, just make sure the bubble gets between those lines and you're all set. So I line up with the marks I made, and I do the same on this side, just like that. I grab it in the center, I put the level up and see if I did a decent job. Now it has to come down a little bit on this side. So I'm going to keep one side, the lower side, I'm going to keep in place, and I'm going to slowly slide this down until I get a new candidate. And there we go, that looks good. That looks very good. Let me just reline up over here. Got that. So the left side is all set. Now the right side's coming down. And there we go. That is about right. So I got my candidate now, and I'm going to remake all my marks now that it's level. There you go there. Okay. Now, kind of force this in until I feel it stick. Push it in until I feel it start to tap. Just like that. Beauty of self-tapping screws. Now I line it up. I push as I screw in. Push as I screw in. Just like that. Now, I don't have to screw this all the way in. I just have to make sure it's firmly in the wall. And then I have a pivot point. See? Now, I can pivot around and find the exact locations that I want. And I already know it's level because I've already measured it. So there's the first one. Now, I'm going to do a slightly trickier one. My elbow is actually on the other bracket, helping to force it back into the wall. Right? I'm going to just use my hand here to tap this screw in. Kind of get my finger behind it. Wiggle it around until you feel it stick. There you go. It's sticky now. And with any luck, there we go. Just push as you're screwing it in. Little surges like that. And there you go. It's starting to go in. I can feel it. And I can be push back a little bit more here. Doesn't have to be perfect as far as your horizontal level. You want to get perfect on the vertical level though. And there we go. Now I got a second screw in. I can kind of let it go. Look at that. Those first two are the hardest. I get the third one in here. Just like so. There it is. I push the self-tapping screw in, like so. Oh, there we go. Felt it stick there. There it is. Whoa, careful. There we go. Now I push as I rotate. There it is. Feel it sinking in there. And there we go. That doesn't have to be perfect at the moment. We have to get the same sort of feeler screws in on this side. Just like so. I'm now lined up with my new X's over here on this side. I want to make sure that this is as firm against the wall as possible. As I push in the bottom screw on this side, which will anchor it a little bit here. There we go. So that's in a little bit. I'm just going to lift it to take the pressure off the screw and then push it in. So start with the one that's furthest out. So it's this one right here. Screw it in a little bit. Okay, that's good. The next one that's furthest out, screw that in a little bit. There, that's good. And then this one. And just gonna work it in like so. And like so. And this one's next. Back to fraction left on all of these, right? So now it's just going to be a matter of tightening it up in kind of a crisscross pattern. That's what I use. Just go in an X. Let's start with like this one, the bottom right. I'll just snug it in. I'm not going to totally tighten it yet. Then go to the top left. And again, snug it in, like so. And I'll go up to the top right. Just snug, but not, totally tight. And then bottom left, like so. And then the other two, any order. Just for books, it doesn't have to be perfect. But as you can see, the bubble right in the middle. Half luck, half skill. It's all down to making the markings early, and sticking with not the candidate markings, not the little dash, but the X's that you put on the wall, the final markings that you make, right? So now that I know, I'm gonna go ahead and start tightening up. There we go. Let's tighten the wall. Again, I'm working in this X pattern here. That's tighten the wall. There we go. I've got a shelf. It's pretty sturdy. The back is not. Well, a couple of things. If you're using a shelf like this, especially, a couple of telltale signs that it's not quite in right is that if the bracket is off the wall in any way, if it's bent out at the top or kind of stuck out at the bottom, you didn't do an even job of screwing it in. You're going to have to kind of unscrew it a little bit, push it firmly back against the wall, and then re-screw it in that crisscross pattern. The second thing is, if the opposite end of this, the opposite flat, is not dead flush with the wall, you've done it wrong. You've possibly even set your brackets up wrong. When you set the brackets, you want it to be as close to the furthest back part of the shelf as possible. You want to be able to take the shelf and see the brackets, and then whatever sticks back on the shelf the most, in this case it's going to be this part right here, and they should be dead even with each other. That way when it flushes up to the wall like this, your bracket will be flush, and so will the back. You can fudge around with that a little bit, but try to get it as close as possible. Okay? These brackets do bend slightly, and still maintain their structural integrity. So there you go. And that's it. That's how you put up your own shelf without anyone else's help. Yeah, if there's any questions on that, you guys know where to find me on YouTube. Please go ahead and check out all the tips in my book, Living Cheaply in the UK, available on the Amazon Kindle. Don't forget there's a free e-reader if you don't have a Kindle. You just download it to your PC for free from Amazon, and then you can buy my book and read it online. And that should do it. Visit me at www.billricardi.com and have a great and profitable day.